Welcome, everybody. I want to thank you for being here. And we have something to say to the state of California, the Assembly Committee on Public Safety, about what they have done to side with fentanyl drug dealers. And to help us today, we have a number of people who were partners in putting what was, I think, one of the best bills I have created in the 10 years I've been in the legislature, and thanks to them for helping. Mothers of fentanyl overdose victims are here. Pamela Smith, Elaine Hudson, Connie Garcia. Fresno County District Attorney Lisa Smitkamp is here. She's on her way. She's on her way. Well, we're in her house. She can do anything she wants to. And she'll be a little late. We can understand that. Fresno Police Chief Paco Balderrama is here. Fresno County Assistant Sheriff Steve McComas, Supervisor Nathan Magzig, our Fresno County CAO Paul Nerland, Steve Brandow is here, Clovis Unified Deputy Superintendent Norm Anderson, and Parents and Addicts in Need, Flint Anderson. We know what fentanyl is doing to our kids. And all we are asking is for consequences for the very people, the fentanyl drug users, dealers who are dealing to our kids. What we have gotten from the state of California instead, from the Public Safety Committee, is a refusal to hold drug dealers accountable and do it this way. They simply will not hear the bill. Kind of reminds me of the three monkeys. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. And they are closing their eyes, their ears, and their mouths to a real evil. And we know the consequences. They won't hear the bill. They won't vote on the bill. They don't want to hear about the loophole that we have discovered that allows fentanyl dealers with a couple thousand pills to be out on the street in a couple of days. They don't want to add any additional time in prison for fentanyl drug dealers. They have told me this directly. They were very clear about this. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to vote on it. And so they have just decided to use the authority that the Assembly leadership has given to the chairs of committees to have a veto of my prerogative as a member of the legislature to introduce bills that I think are important and good for our community without a hearing. That disenfranchises me. It disenfranchises the folks that are up here, and it disenfranchises those across the state of California who are hoping and praying that something would be done to hold these dealers accountable. So this is what we're getting up in Sacramento. Very clear. They're not going to hear any bills that increase a sentence for fentanyl drug dealers. Well, let me make this very clear. They may not like it, but they're going to see this bill again as soon as I can put it back on file. And I will continue to keep using every avenue of opportunity to make sure that the chair, the members, and others see what is going on and recognize that the people of California deserve to know that their legislature cares enough about them that they will not side for the drug dealers, they will side for their victims. I thought that's what a public safety committee was supposed to be. But this is what we're getting from Sacramento. We are facing this obstruction in Sacramento, and it has consequences, real life and death consequences on the streets of Fresno and across the state of California. But we're also here to remind ourselves that we are all doing our part. Parents are having those tough conversations and are checking out their kids' phones. Schools are educating our kids about the dangers of fentanyl like never before. Law enforcement is tracking down dealers after and our DAs are prosecuting them. We are demanding something straightforward, direct, and clear. That the state of California must do its part, not to simply let fentanyl drug dealers go through the revolving door of a misdemeanor, but to put them where they belong, in a prison for a substantial period of time for dealing a poison to our children. If that doesn't scream for consequences, I don't know what does. But unfortunately, the plea is loud, but it's being ignored in the halls of our government. And if they don't wake up to the opportunity to separate between the addict that we can get help and the dealer that wants to continue to shove this poison at our kids, they don't wake up. They don't think seriously about this. These individuals, a couple of days, will walk out on the street, and who knows whose child will be their next victim. We were prepared to make this case to those on the Public Safety Committee, but they chose not to hear. I think they also chose not to care. And I think that they need to have a strong wake-up call from people across the state of California. Please, for the sake of our kids, for the sake of the victims, hold those drug dealers accountable. Because when they are off the street and in a prison, they can't be feeding our kids the poison that they do over and over again. And so I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm not taking wait and see for an answer. I'm not taking the whims of one chair of the Public Safety Committee for an answer. For the sake of our kids, for the sake of those who might innocently be given something that looks like candy, but it puts them in a coffin. Those dealers know it. This is a purposeful act when they know the consequences of what will happen. And so we have people here who would have been part of the messaging to try and grab the heart and the soul and the vote of those individuals on that Public Safety Committee. We're going to try it again and again and again. For we believe in doing justice. And that's what I think this bill would have done. And we will continue to try as hard as we possibly can.